If you only had time to learn one thing in F124, I'd suggest learning how to generate your own ERS at will. Knowing how to recharge your reserves from being empty to completely full whenever you please will give you the control and dominance on track like never before. Before starting the guide, bind your ERS mode buttons to your wheel. I'm using the Moza R12, and I chose to use my top paddles for changing my gears as they were meant to, and the bottom ones for switching my ERS modes. If you don't have spare bottom paddles, you can work with the buttons up front and achieve the same result. I will also be doing a future guide on my FFB settings, so keep an eye out for that one. For today's example, I chose to use a middle field team, so I went with Alpine, and started pretty far back in 18th position. For the difficulty level, chose to go with 100 and a 5-lap race to mimic the career challenge parameters. You'll have 3 modes to play with. Knowing how and when to use these will change the way you drive forever. Before I show you how to use this in a race, let's see how they compare in just a few corners. So we have none, medium, and hot lap. Let's go with hot lap first. We currently have 13% in our reserves. Let's use this yellow sign as our finish line. I'd say we got about 9 or 10%. Let's be generous and go with 10. So that's 10% for a hot lap. Let's now do medium, starting off with 13% as before. So we get 12%. It's a bit better, but still not enough to have any significant impact on the race. Now we're going to use the strongest mode of all, and that's none. That's right, none. This is the mode that will win you races even in a slower car. Let's see how we do with this one. Again, starting at 13%. So we get 19%, so that's 7% more ERS than medium and 9% gain over using hot lap mode. All that just over a few corners, so imagine throughout the entire race. The next question that needs to be answered is how can we use this in an actual race and not lose a bunch of lap time while doing this? I'll skip over the first lap. All I'm going to be doing is waste a bunch of ERS as much as I can for the sake of this video.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
Trying to get my reserves as low as possible, I was able to get down to 3%. Do not go this slow during an actual race. This is just to use as an example for this guide. We're out of ERS. This is what we do. This is when we use none. You can be more aggressive in this mode. You'll have less of a chance to spin your wheels, and correcting slides are a breeze to recover from compared to other modes. So we went from 3% to 30% in just a few corners. Keep an eye on how much ERS I get every time I take a corner on none. Again, being aggressive, getting the pedal to the floor as quickly as possible. Here I come in and out, getting 12% on one corner. Then when my wheels are straight, I go back to medium, just to catch back up with the pack. This is not just about how much you're gaining, it's also how much other drivers are spending and losing their ERS. As you get stronger, they get weaker. And I do this the entire race, always gaining more than I'm spending. Once you master this technique, you will have more ERS than you can use. If you wanted to recharge at 100%, you can. Here's an extreme example. I start the lap with about 25%. I'll be able to recharge it all the way up to 100% just by using none while being aggressive in corners, mediums to get out of corners quicker, and hot lap whenever I need to catch up or whenever I need to get away from the pack. And try to only use overtake in DRS zones. Maximize its usefulness. Once you've mastered this, you'll be able to use overtake whenever you want. But for now in your next race, just choose a corner, choose one that you're comfortable with, one that you've mastered already. And try to use that corner as your recharge station. Once you've mastered that technique on that one corner, add another one. Keep adding those corners to your bag of tricks. Once you know you're able to recharge all the way up to 100%, especially in those few last laps, knowing everybody else is struggling for that last little bit of battery charge, this is when you can take control of the race, even if you're not driving the best car on track. So feel free to use as much as you like in lap 4 and 5. I'll let the end of the race take course, in case anyone wants to keep watching.
Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap.
Hope you enjoyed this guide and that it was helpful to you. See you on the next one.